Okay, so I think I fixed it. Takes a second. I totally forget every time I do it. There's a button I have to press. So, we're going to read scary stories today. This should be fun. I haven't done this in quite some time. It's been a little bit. But we're going to read scary stories because why not? It's almost 9:30 at night. I'm bored. Might as well read scary stories. So, trying to find one I haven't read before. I've read a lot of stories on this channel. um, Ooh. Mic came off its little post. Whatever you want to call it. And I got to adjust. Sorry, guys. There we go. I think I got it. Did I get it? I think. The mic does not want to stay. This is going to have to work. It's going to have to work. It is kind of in the way of the light. I could move the light. But if I move it, it looks weird. Try not to be too bright. Yeah. You're going to have to live with the mic being in the way. Ignore the back of my room. Bed needs to be made. We don't talk about that. Like, we don't talk about Bruno. We don't talk about the clothes over there. I haven't moved them yet. Yeah. So, we're going to be reading scary stories. I got to adjust this mic. There. Now it's at my level. I think. Because if I get close enough, you can hear me still. So, let's do this. I am getting my stories off Scary for Kids. That's really the only other place I can find scary stories that aren't too graphic by YouTube standards. But, you know, what can I do? Trying to find one I haven't read before. Like I said, it is really hard to find one I haven't. Because I did a bunch of videos where I read 95% of these. So, it's not Halloween yet. We're in at the middle of March. But we're in March. We're almost in spring. It's not Halloween time yet. We do Japanese urban legends. Everyone seems to be liking those. And the scary stories seem to be popular. My scary stories are the most popular thing on this channel at the moment. Surprisingly, out of everything I've done, that's the most popular. So, beware, I can't pronounce half these names. Just so people don't get offended, I do have a hard time pronouncing the names of any of them. I think we've read The Red Crayon, but, I don't know if I've read it on camera. I might have. Yeah. I may have. But, anyway. This story is about a married couple who returned from their honeymoon and they decided they were going to buy a house. Now, they found this very cheap house and they thought, well, we got a deal on it. Not thinking anything of it. There was nothing physically wrong with it. Like, no mold, no any other reasons you would have for not buying a house and why it would be so cheap. But one day, while walking down the hallway, the husband sees a red crayon on the floor, kicks it with his foot. So he picks it up, throws it away, thinking his wife is playing a trick on him. But the same thing happens for a week. Same thing. Walks down the hall, kicks a red crayon, and he thinks, oh well, my wife put this here. So thinks nothing of it. Tells his wife. that it's a very funny joke, but very childish. And she, in response, tells him, "Well, I thought you did it because I've been walking down the hallway and I've seen the red crown and thrown it away." So at this point, they both think they're both going crazy, but they end up finding this side room that was boarded up. The husband decides, well, we're gonna take it apart and we're gonna take off the boards anyway and figure out what's behind here. So they do, and it is a secret bedroom with red crayon all over the wall, saying, "Mom, please let me out. I am sorry," written all over the wall multiple times. And that is where the story ends. Really creepy for kids. I've listened to multiple people tell this story. Legend. But for me, it's not that scary. Depends on your version of scary. How about the bald man? I don't think I've read this one. I know there were some of them that I skipped over because either I thought they were too gruesome or YouTube didn't like them. But I'm going to read this one anyway because I can't remember why I skipped over it. Okay. At night, the bald man goes from house to house, peeking into bathroom windows and watching people while they're sitting on the toilet. Bit of a creep, a peeping Tom, if you will. Taking a shower, getting changed. He's a creepy, old-looking Japanese man. Literally what it says. And he shoves his head against the window and drills at the mouth while he spies on people to catch you in the bath. We'll call it that so that, I can escape. Years ago, there was an old man who was obsessed with seeing young girls. I remember why I skipped this one. The streets of the village at night, he ended up stalking each and every individual person, and everyone got very paranoid about this. So he would go into people's windows who left the curtains down, or no curtains, as you can see in my bedroom window. And he would peek through the windows. So after they caught him, they were so ashamed and refused to have anything to do with him. To punish him, they shaved his head and banished him out of the village. So this man, the bald man, is what they called him after they shaved his head. So he built himself a hut in the mountains and decided to live as a hermit. He did his best to stop thinking about the people, whether to see them in the buff. This is so weird. And after a while, he grew powerless to his sinister urges and gave in to this weird compulsion. And in the dead of night, would creep back into the village. And he kidnapped a little girl, brought her back to his hut, and he kept her there to do horrible things. That's what it says. It doesn't give you a description, which is great. One day the bald man was away. I think a thief came across his unguarded hut and decided to steal the man's belongings. When he went inside, he found the young girl who had been kidnapped. Taking pity on this poor girl, he untied her. Just as he was helping her escape, the bald man showed up. And then there was a big fight. And in the end, the thief managed to kill the bald man and bring the girl back to her grateful parents. After that, the bald man returned as a ghost and began appearing outside the little girl's windows. Oh, we're so specific, it's little girls. That's gross. So the parents were so worried about the ghost because he kept coming back to this same little girl. And I lost my place. So they hid their daughter. For that time, the bald man's ghost had been going from house to house, peeping in the windows of toilets, bathrooms, bedrooms, really looking for these girls. And then if you chant his name, I can't even pronounce it. in the bathroom, his bald head will appear in the toilet bowl. And if you chant something else in your bathroom on New Year's, the bald man will not trouble you again. Okay. I have a problem with this story. Now remember why I skipped it. Pom Pom. You little weirdo. Pom Pom's playing with cardboard. You scared me. It's okay. Oh, excuse you. That is enough. Okay. Problem with this story. Someone is very weird. It's a very messed up story. Legend or not, it's very messed up. Because you have to think someone sat down and decided to write this. That I am not okay with. I remember why I skipped over it. Dude, are you being such a turkey? This is enough. He's under my bed. He's being a turkey. Okay. How about the icicle woman? I don't think I've read this one. Sometimes I just skip over these stories. Because either I think they're stupid or they're inappropriate. That's what I do. Alright. The Icicle Woman is a ghost story from Japan about a man who meets a ghostly woman who is beautiful and slender as an icicle. The story is based off a Japanese folklore called... I'm not even going to try. But in English, it is the Icicle Wife. There was a man who had never married. He lived alone in a small house in the wilderness of Japan, and he was very lonely, longing for someone to spend his life with, as one does when they are lonely. There's a commercial playing at the bottom of my phone for pottery, and I watched this guy walk by, and for some reason that scared me. It shouldn't have, but it did. So one winter morning, he gazed out his window when he happened to notice some icicles hanging from the eaves of the house. He said to himself, I wish I had a wife as beautiful as those icicles. So that night there was a knock on his front door. When the man answered, he saw a beautiful woman standing on his doorstep. Her body was long and slender, and her face was pale as snow. He invited her in from the cold. As time passed, the woman never left, and the couple fell in love. They decided to live as husband and wife. As one does when a stranger knocks on your door in the middle of the night. No, don't do that. Don't let strangers into your house. Okay. There was one small problem with the woman. The man noticed that the beautiful woman never took a bath. It's a strange thing to notice. But okay, I'll let that slide. He tried to talk to her about it, but she used to discuss it, as one should. After an hour passed, the man could hear. All he could hear was silence. Oh, wait, no. One day the husband had had enough. He grabbed his wife, dragged her into the bathroom. The screams and the cries, and she also tried to wiggle away from him, could be heard throughout the house. He threw her into the piping hot shower and left her there and slammed the bathroom door shut. Because that's what a normal person does. Notice the sarcasm in my voice. After an hour passed, the man, all he could hear was silence. There was no splashing sounds coming from the bathroom. Thinking this was strange, he opened the door and peeked inside. It was empty. His wife was gone. All that he saw floating in the water was the hair comb his wife once wore. So the man becomes very heartbroken, because he's an idiot. And he decided to move on with his life, because that's what one does. A few months later, he met a new woman and they fell in love. She came to live with him, and they passed the months happily together until winter came around again. After a night of heavy snowfall, the man looked out the window and noticed the icicle under the eaves of the house. He went outside to knock it off. But there was a woman standing outside in the snow. He recognized her. It was his wife. You see where this is going? Inside the house, the new woman heard a terrible, agonizing screech. She rushed inside to find the man lying in the snow. He was dead, and there was blood spread all out through the snow around his head. A huge icicle had pierced right through his eye and penetrated his brain, thus killing him. So, for anyone who didn't catch on to that last part, his wife was an icicle. So, when he threw her into the bath, she basically melted and came back for revenge in the winter and killed him with an icicle. Just so we're all on the same page. The first time I read that, I could not figure out why the wife disappeared until I realized that was stupid. She's an icicle. Okay. Besides the point, I have read that. I know I said I didn't read it. That was a lie. I did read it. I don't think I read it on camera. I might have. But it's been a significant amount of time. Okay. Black Teeth. You want to read that one? Yes? No? I'm gonna go yes. If it lets me click into the story. Hello. Teeth. As one can see, this is a story I won't read. It doesn't let me click on it. I don't want to read the Ghost Games one. But I'm going to click on it. Look, it loads. Oh, this tells you about scary games, scary ghost games that I will not be reading because I don't need people being stupid. Don't mess with things you know nothing about. That's just a hint. Hint. School at night. Okay. See, I can't read any of the Japanese words, even though I could try to pronounce them. It's going to be pronounced terribly. I'm kind of glad they translated into English somewhat. Boop. 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 There we go. So it's up to lip level. The School at Night is a scary Japanese urban legend about schools that are supposed to be haunted. They have in quotations, haunted. Because they were built on top of old cemeteries. Now that is just stupid in general. Don't build on top of cemeteries. That does not end up well. Okay. They call it school ghost stories. That's the English translation. The urban legends are also sometimes known as the seven wonders of the school. Years ago in Japan, there was an urgent need for new schools. There were rumors that the government needed to find cheap land that they could build the schools on top of. So they gave rise to the rumors and gossip among the kids that their schools were haunted because they built on top of these cemeteries because it was cheap and somewhere they could build the land on. Very disrespectful. They say that if you go into your school at midnight, you'll see and hear many strange things, like a candle floating across the school, disembodied footsteps echoing down the hallways, and statues with eyes that follow you as you pass. In the science realm, the atomical skeleton comes to life, and when you hear the sound of the invisible ball bouncing in the gym, you might even see a ghostly severed head flying around the classroom. This reminded me of a movie, and I can't remember which one it was. I think it was Haunted Mansion with those busts. You know what I'm talking about? The four of them. They're like a quartet because they do nothing but sing. That's kind of what that line reminded me of. This entire story is reminding me of Haunted Mansion. Don't ask me why, but it is. If for some reason you haven't seen Haunted Mansion, you very well should. It's a good movie. Anyway, If you walk around the schoolyard, ghostly hands will emerge from below and try to drag you down. Drag you down to the pits of hell. No. No. Okay. If you go swimming in the pool, ghostly hands will grab you and try to drown you. Old buildings appear on the school grounds, and there are staircases that would lead to nowhere. There is actually a house somewhere where there are a bunch of staircases and doors that lead to absolutely nothing. That's an actual place. Can't remember what it's called. All buildings appear on the school grounds, and staircase leads to nowhere. Like I just said, there's an actual place like that. If you walk up them, you will disappear. They say that one stall in the toilets are haunted. And if you enter it, a rope will fall from the ceiling. Yes. In one small town in Japan, there was a group of teenage boys who heard the rumors about their school, and they decided, let's go check out this legend, see if it's true. I just hit my nose off my microphone. Ow. Okay. Not the point. So they decide they're going to be idiots, and they're going to go test the legend because they don't believe it. Alright, so on the midnight on the 15th day of the month, strange things would happen. So they decided this was the best time. Let's go here. Let's do this. Let's be stupid. Let's go play with stuff we know nothing about. Now, like I said, we don't do this. But they're going to do it. Okay. There was a statue that stood on the path leading up to the school, and the ice supposedly follows you as you pass by. If you walked up the main stairs, the number of steps would be different when you walked back. If you turned on the taps in the science laboratory, blood would flow from them instead of water. Sounds like a movie. If you dared to enter the last stall of the bathrooms on the ground floor, the person would never be seen alive again. Oh my gosh, if you tell me these boys go into the bathroom. I swear I've read this one. I think I read this one before Thanksgiving. A couple years ago. Or last year. It was one of them. Before I them all together. I can't pronounce the names. I'm gonna try. I'm sorry. This is horrible. Shinichi, Miku, Takashi, and Hiro. I don't know how you. Takashi seems right. But I could be horribly wrong. Either way, all four of these boys decided. What did they decide? They were going to walk through the school gates and up to the path. The boys stared at the statue, waiting for something to happen. The eyes on the statue were looking to the left, and even as the boys passed, the eyes didn't move an inch. They entered the school building and carelessly walked up the stairs, counting each and every one of them. 1, 2, 3, until they got to 13. There were 13 steps when they walked up. They walked back down. 1, 2, 3, all the way to 14. Another wives' tale, one of them said. So they made their way down the corridor into the science laboratory and turned on the taps. Instead of blood, out came water. They were very disappointed. And so one goes, I knew it. We came here in vain. So they decided to test out one more legend. Can you guess which one they were testing out? The bathroom. Although they talked excitedly about going, none of them seemed in a hurry to get into the stall. Finally, one boy, Shinichi, feel free to correct me if I'm wrong, if that's pronounced wrong, but, you know. He stepped forward and told the boys that he was not afraid of anything. So he pushed the door open and went into the toilets while his friends waited outside. The boys looked at the clock. It was exactly 1 a.m. A minute later, he came out with a grin on his face. Nothing, he said. It's a bunch of kid stories and fairy tales. The boys all laughed and walked away, but when they came out of school, they walked back down the path. Before they were leaving, one took a look at the statue, but the eyes were still looking to the left. What a letdown! The next morning, each of the boys received a worried phone call from Shinichi's mother. Was he with you last night? She demanded. He wasn't. He wasn't there when I checked. His bedroom. He snuck out and he didn't come home. Where is he? The boys felt something was wrong. In the end, they decided to tell their parents about the little trip they made that night. The parents contacted the school principals, and soon the adults and the kids and the principal were gathered in the school. What are you saying? The school principal asked. You're talking about the statue outside the school? The eyes have always been to the right, not a wives' tale. They just didn't realize what way the statue was looking. But when they left last night, they were to the left. Entering the gates, they were all shocked to see the eyes of the statue were indeed looking to the right. What about the steps on the main staircase? They quickly ran to the staircase and counted. They counted 12 stairs. Yeah, the staircase has always had 12 steps. When it was built, the architects had made a mistake in the design. There were supposed to be 13. Well, that's impossible. But what about the taps in the lab? Entering the laboratory, they all looked. Each one of them were caked with a dark red stain. Each of the boys were filled with fear. But what about Shinichi? Shinichi? I can't even. One of the boys mumbled he went into the toilet. Well, let's go see. They all gathered outside the bathroom, and the boys and the parents looked at each other nervously. The principal took a deep breath, and the boy's mother let out a blood-curdling scream. The others recoiled in terror. The dead body of their friend was found, hanging in that bathroom. His internal organs and intestines had been removed, and they were sitting in a nice pile on the floor. One of the boys was in a daze. He stared unblinking at the watch on his wrist. It had stopped at exactly 1 a.m. And that's where the story ends. What did I tell you? Don't mess with things you know nothing about. That does nothing. Does not bring good. This is stupid. Okay. But there's like every cliche scary story. Keep hanging my nose off this microphone. Scary riddles. I don't. Let's do brain teasers. Okay, so it says each of these brain teasers contain a scary hidden message. Can you spot the creepy story in each one? Spend some time thinking about if they're too puzzling and you can't figure it out, scroll down and look at the answers in the comment section. So this first one is called Alone in the House. I thought I was going to say Alone in the Home. I was really scared last night after I read a really creepy story on a scary website. I always visit. What made it worse was my parents were away, so I was totally alone in the house. I switched on all the lights in my room and in the hall leading down to the bathroom. That calmed me down a little. The only scary thing that happened was when I finished showering, I went back to my room, I switched on the lights, and that exact moment, my handbag fell out of the chair. That made me jump. Here's my thing. They turn the lights off before, but not off. They turn the lights on before they get into the shower. Does anyone remember that part of the story? Hair in my eyeball. It's fine. Let me find that again. I switched on all the lights in my room and the hall leading to the bathroom. I calmed them down a little. After they finished showering, they went back to the room and switched the light on. Here's my thing. The lights were on when we left. So something ain't adding up. I mean, you forgot to tell us you turned the lights off? Well, your house is haunting, man. Okay. That aside, they did turn the lights on before they went into the shower and they had to turn back on. Now that's creepy. That I noticed. Okay. The second one is called Strange Dinner. A few days ago, I was invited to a dinner at a friend's house. The strange thing is my friend recently got involved in some weird religious cult. While I was there, he served up some type of meat, but he wouldn't tell me what kind of meat it was. It kind of freaked me out for a second. I wondered if it was human meat. I did. That's the first thought that went to my head. But then after I ate it, I knew it definitely wasn't human meat. Was it a dog? I don't know. That sounds stupid. But here's my thing. That one I don't understand. So I need answers. I need answers. Oh no. Oh no. I looked in the comments. So they said it definitely wasn't human meat. And so one person goes, oh, no, definitely not human meat. Means they had human meat before. So in theory they were a cannibal. Honestly, that's weird. That's weird. That's weird. And I like this one. I turned on the light. Turn it off. For the first one, exactly what I noticed. Honestly, I wouldn't have guessed that. Like, but it does make sense. You can't say it's not human meat if you haven't had it before. No. That's gross. It's nasty. They got a point. Okay. Number 3. The girl in the library. Yesterday I went to the library to borrow some books. I asked the librarian where the horror section was. She directed me to some shelves that were in the corner against the wall. I was browsing through the titles when I came to a gap in the books, and a cute girl peered through at me. I thought the bookshelf was against the wall. How is there a girl on the other side of the horror section? Okay. Our eyes met for about a second, and she smiled. I spent 10 minutes trying to work up the courage and start a conversation with her. But in the end, I picked out 3 books, brought them to the librarian. Why am I such a wuss? If I had been brave enough to talk to that girl, maybe I could have got her number. Or maybe you could have been dead. She's not there. The bookshelf is against the wall. You wouldn't have been able to see her. Hearing again, the bookshelf was against the wall. That's creepy though. Think about it. You go into a library, bookshelf against the wall. You see a girl on the other side. That's creepy. I noticed that one right away. Okay, number 4, autopsy exam. All right. Studying to become a doctor is really hard work, but I scored 100% on my autopsy exam on Friday. I can't take all the credit though. My roommate was a huge help. I wish I could thank him, but he's no longer with us. Did you? The hell is there? Did you kill your friend? I'm gonna go to the comment section for that one. I'm pretty sure he killed his friend. Yeah. No. Okay. So he English come back. Okay, so he does this autopsy, gets 100%. He kills someone who knows how he died. Does no one find that really suspicious? How many people are in the room doing the autopsy? One person per body, right? They don't tell you. But he definitely killed this friend. Okay, I will not be reading number 6. Because that one dives into touchy subjects. Very creepy nonetheless. Okay, number 5 is called pizza delivery. I was delivering a pizza to an old apartment building in a bad area of town. When I pushed the button to call the elevator, the doors immediately opened. Suddenly, this woman ran out screaming with this crazy look on her face. She ran out of the building, but before I could say a word, some people are just weird. I looked inside the elevator just to check for scary murderers. Nope, nothing. But I still ended up taking the stairs. Give me a minute to think about this one. I'm not understanding. You never opened the door. Doesn't mention anything about Alice. It says number 5, Alice isn't real. So I wonder if that's the name of the apartment building. Maybe there's never an elevator. That one leaves me thoroughly confused, and if you guys want to come up with an idea, you guys can tell me what you think. But for me, I don't think that building was... Well, the building had to have been real. There were stairs. But maybe the elevator never existed. But then again, the woman running down the stairs out of the elevator, I call it the stairs because there were stairs. I'm not sure. Okay, number 6 is called the Unalive video. AKA the friend gets murdered, not by one's self, but by another person. So if you catch what I'm saying, so I'm not explaining that one. Number 7 is called Girlfriend. My mom treats my girlfriend like crap whenever we come over to visit. She never sets a place for her. Today, when she was cleaning, she grabbed her and called her dirty and tried to throw her into the closet. That was too much for me. I shouted, "Mom, don't treat Alice like that." Mom just looked at me and was like, "Alice? Who the bleep is Alice?" I can't even believe how rude my mom is. So Alice isn't real. That's what number 5 means. But still, so messed up. Okay. Okay. I want to explain number 5. So the door opens right away, which means the woman was running from somebody and hid in the elevator to protect herself. Thus, the murderer, whoever must be coming after her, decides to go down the stairs because the elevator is in use. And the narrator ends up going into the stairs. Scary. So they end up getting murdered. Okay. And someone says Alice is probably not a person, it's probably a piece of clothing. Which would make sense. But, you know. Or it's like an imaginary girlfriend. People do that too. 8 is called burglar. A few minutes ago, I was taking a shower and I heard a scream from the living room. Get out of the bath that you were in the shower. Ran out there naked. As one does, because why put a towel on? When I got there, I saw a burglar standing over the dead bodies of my mom and dad. Sorry, I did not mean to chuckle, but you ran out naked. The burglar does not want to see that. Okay. And my sister, when the burglar saw me, he jumped out the window and ran off. I'm so scared, I don't know what to do. And the burglar is obviously really scared too. You are naked. I'm gonna go to the comments for this one. Oh. 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 I didn't even think of that. Okay, this one goes, called the man a burglar, not a murderer. Therefore, he killed his mom, dad, and sister. He took a shower to get the blood off. So that makes more sense. He's scared because someone saw his crime that he didn't clean up. He or she, there is no gender. No gender, only goose. Okay. Number 9 is called Three Wives. I've lost 3 wives. Can you believe that? Let me tell you. Alcohol is a very dangerous thing. My first wife was an alcoholic. She loved to drink wine. After we were married for 2 years, she suffered from alcohol poisoning and died. My second wife, I've also found, was very fond of wine. Her death was caused by drinking too. My third wife, in a different way, she broke her neck and fell down the stairs. She wasn't drunk, though. She always refused to drink wine. So you're telling me he murdered them? You're telling me he murdered them. You're telling me they murdered them. It's very easy to make alcohol poisoning look like someone else did it. I watch too much true crime. It's okay. Okay, so there, I am technically right. He killed the first 2 wives by poisoning, and the third by pushing her down the stairs. Yes, I knew it. Okay, so he poisoned the wine. But even so, it's alcohol poisoning. I saw on, I can't remember which one it was. It was a true crime documentary. If I could speak English, this would be wonderful. About this one guy who tried to kill people by poisoning them with alcohol, by forcing alcohol down their throats after they were drunk, and they were way above the legal limit for alcohol. Nope. I had to look at my window. I don't know why. I saw the reflection of Tony's leg. That dinosaur? His name is Tony. I didn't name him Tony. Sophie didn't. I think it's a cute name. So his name is Tony. Okay, so number 10 is called a cheap hotel. I can't pronounce the place, but it's in Thailand. I'm on a holiday in Bangkok Island, Thailand. Make it weird, I don't care. And I'm staying in a cheap hotel. The locals say that this hotel is haunted. More of a reason to go to it. Why not? It's not like the locals know what they're talking about. But you know how Thai people are. They're very superstitious. Or, as I call it, stupid-stitious. That's not in the story. I made that part up. I call it stupid-stitious. However, I did have one scary incident last night. I took a bath while I was blow drying my hair. Ooh! Like, blow drying? Hair dryer? This is my hair dryer. I don't know where the top went. Just ignore that. What in the bath? What? I was blow drying my hair, switched on TV. Suddenly, a horrifying white-faced woman appeared on the screen. It gave me such a fright. I dropped my hair dryer into the bathtub. That knocked out all the lights. I had to rely on the light on the TV to get dressed, and then I went downstairs to the lobby. I found out my little accident had knocked out all the electricity in the hotel. The hotel manager wasn't very happy with me. TV should have been on. TV should have been on. You idiot. One, don't blow dry your hair while you're in the bathtub. I'm pretty sure in the instructions somewhere they tell you to keep it away from water, especially the bathtub and your kitchen sink. If it took out all the electricity in the hotel, your TV wasn't on. Your TV wasn't on, baby. Or you're dead. Both of which happen. Hey, I don't know if you could survive in a thing like that, dropping your hairdryer into the bathtub. Electricity. Point being, your TV shouldn't have been on. Let's see what other people say. Okay. If the electricity was out, then the television shouldn't be on. The television is haunted. Also, can we just mention how dumb the person, how dumb this person was for blow drying their hair while in the bathtub? Sorry, that got loud. But who does that? No one. Absolutely no one. This one person in the comments goes for number 8. They have a theory, of which I've already said. The burglar didn't run away only because he was in front of the killer. Because he saw the guy naked. He was scared for his life. Honestly, that's a possibility too. So those brain teasers weren't. The second one got me. No. Riddles for kids. You guys think we can solve this? If not, I'll go to the comments. Christmas present. On Christmas Day, a young boy finds 3 presents under the tree. Opening the first present, he finds a pair of shoes and begins to cry. Opening the second present, he finds a soccer ball and cries even harder. The third present, he finds a pair of bicycle shorts. He buries his face in his hands and starts sobbing outside. Santa's having a big laugh. What? Huh? Okay. The boy has no legs. He cries because he can't wear the shoes. He can't kick a soccer ball. And he can't wear the shorts. That's mean. Okay. Riddle 2. A locked room. This one touches a touchy subject. I can dance around the words a little bit, but just so you know. Trigger warning for anyone that there's the facts. It does deal with unaliving. Okay, so in a locked room, a man was found hanging from a ceiling. Now, his feet are not touching the ground. The room is completely empty. There are no chairs, tables, or anything else. But there's a puddle of water under his feet. How do you do it? Reminds me of Saw. Which one was it? The guy's on that giant ice cube. And that officer guy is not supposed to walk through the door because if he does, one guy gets electrocuted because of the water, I think it is, and the other one falls off the ice cube. That could be the possibility to that. Yeah, the man stood on an ice cube. The things people come up with. Riddle 3. The murdered sister. A woman proves in court that her husband was murdered by her sister. Even though the judge can't find the sister guilty of murder, he can't send her to prison. Why? Okay, I'm gonna go on a limb and say that they're like identical twins. So I saw this on an episode of Crashbox. So it might be Siamese twins. Anyone who doesn't know what Crashbox is, I think it came out in the 90s. But it was a show that taught you math and language arts. And a couple of the games tried to keep you focused. I could not stay focused. But I think they were Siamese twins because you can't send them to prison. Someone to prison because the other one is connected. Yeah, the Siamese twins. I saw it on an episode of Crashbox, but one was a thief and the other one wasn't. And they couldn't send one of them to prison because the other one was innocent. Stupid stuff like that. A doctor. For riddle number 4. A man is driving down a highway with his son in his car. The car gets into an accident and both are critically injured. 2 ambulances from 2 different hospitals arrive. The man is taken to one and the son is taken to another. The doctor walks into the room and the operating room, looks at the boy. I can't operate on the boy. This is my son. How can this be? Okay. My nose is stuffed. I'm sorry. The doctor might be his mom or another parent. Yes. It is the boy's parent. It says mother. And number 5, hole in the suit. A man was just doing his job when he accidentally tore a hole in his suit. 3 minutes later, he died. Why? Let's think about this logically, because it's what it wants you to do. What job could you have that you're doing that you tear your suit, you're going to die after 3 minutes? Is it an astronaut? Because there's really no oxygen in space. The only form of oxygen you have is in your suit. Once that runs out. And I'm pretty sure if you get a hole in it, bye-bye. Yes. He was in outer space. He was an astronaut. Okay. Number 6. The frog. There's a frog found dead in the middle of an island. If it swims north, the distance to the mainland is 2 meters. If he swims to the south, the distance to the mainland is 3 meters. If he goes east or west, the distance is 4 meters. Which way should he swim? North? Nowhere. No, he shouldn't swim anywhere. He's found in the middle of the island, right? He shouldn't swim anywhere. Because that's how far from the island he is. And he can't swim anyway, he's dead. I read the comment. I wanted to know why the frog is dead. Just in the beginning. I'm dumb. It's okay. Okay. Desert. Two men are lying in the desert, both of them wearing backpacks. One man is alive, the other is dead. The backpack of the man who is alive is open. The backpack of the man is closed. How did he die? Okay. One backpack is open, and that's on the alive man. Were they like parachutes? Parachutes kind of look like backpacks. And if he didn't pull the strings, he didn't deploy his parachute. Dead men can't deploy parachutes. Yes, I am right. Okay. I think that's going to be all for now. I'll see you guys later. Bye.